Hello guys, welcome to Options Talk, a conversation between AP and me on everything options. Today I will talk about put call parity and synthetic futures. So this is a standard disclaimer that futures, stocks and options trading involves substantial risk. Please do your due diligence before taking any trade. So what is put call parity? Put call parity defines the relationship between the put options, call options, and the underlying futures contract. This principle is applicable to puts and calls of same strike, same expiration, and of the same underlying future. If the put call parity is breached, then an arbitrage opportunity exists. So what is a put call parity formula? It is C plus K equals F plus P. So what it means is the call price, which is C in this case, plus the strike price, which is the K, of the option should be equal to futures price F plus the put price P. Okay. So if I put it more clearly, the call price plus strike price should be equal to futures price plus put price. And if we rearrange this put call parity,
just a small doubt, Raghunath. So you're talking about both of the same strike price, right? Call price and put price.
Yes, it should be of same strike price and also same expiry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you rearrange this put call parity and if you can see here, then the futures price minus call price plus put price minus strike price should be equal to 0 according to put call parity formula.
Yeah.
And whenever this breaches, okay, if it is not equal to 0, if it is minus or plus, then there is an arbitrage exists. And you have
right.
many algos which always do this job of arbitraging. Whenever they see arbitrage, they do arbitrage trades. So in this case, what they do is that I will show you an example. So this is the 25 June 2020 monthly option chain, and as I said, the put call parity formula should be equal to 0. And if we look at the at the money option strike, which is 10,150, and then the futures price is 10,145.5. So if we do this, the values, we put in these values in this formula, the value is 1.15, which means the monthly futures price is higher than the call price plus put price minus strike price. So there is an arbitrage exists. So what the algos do here is that they short the futures price and they buy a synthetic future. In this, the long synthetic future is long call strike, which is in this case 10,150, and short put strike, the put option. So that will be the long synthetic future. So at some point,
yeah. So call also will be short, right? Short put and long call. So okay, fine.
So there's a long call and short put. That will be right. The long synthetic future.
Correct.
So at some point they will converge together, and the value becomes 0 again when the trade is exited. So this is how arbitrage is done using synthetic futures. So now this is done across different strike prices as well, and also within the market as well as intermarket, like between BSE exchange and NSE exchange. So this is what these arbitrage algos do.
Is this typically a trade only for algos?
Yeah, because the arbitrage is very small, like 1 point, 2 point, 3 point.
Exactly.
So this cannot be done by people.
Because if you go to execute manually, you will never get the exact prices.
Yes, exactly. Because you'll have slippages and then you'll have impact cost and everything, and the amount is very less.
Right.
So because the arbitrage, yes. So the arbitrage algos and all, they have this special pricing with the exchange because they also provide liquidity and all. So they don't have many costs involving the transactions.
Right. But then, from your experience, how high has this disparity gone? I mean, today's example is 1.15. How much
Yeah,
high have you seen?
I mean, at least that I've seen is like $3-4, not more than that.
Okay.
I mean, it could be high, I don't know, but from what I have
Mm.
observed is sort of $3-4 plus or minus both ways.
Yeah, right.
So that's how the put call parity is helpful, and so this is how arbitrage is done. So this is how synthetic futures are done or used. Synthetic futures are used in arbitrage trading. And where else can these synthetic futures can be used? For example, weekly options, they have no underlying futures, unlike monthly options. So because of this, in weekly options, there is a lot of mispricing is happening. Because if you look at the monthly options, the pricing of the monthly options is highly dependent on the futures of that particular expiry. But since the weekly options has no underlying futures, there is a lot of mispricing is happening in weekly options. So we can use the synthetic futures in the weekly options. So we'll talk about how we can use that.
Yeah.
So using put call parity formula, we can derive the synthetic futures price for the weekly options. So if this is the put call parity formula. If we rearrange this, we can derive the synthetic futures price of weekly options. So we take the at the money strike price, we add the call price, and then we deduct the put price. That will give you the synthetic futures price of that particular weekly expiry.
Right.
So in this case, a long synthetic futures comprises of a short put and long call of at the money strike. So why at the money strike? Because it has high liquidity. We can also do with other strikes if there is liquidity. But here I chose the at the money strike because of high liquidity at the money options. And similarly, a short synthetic futures comprise of long put and short call of the at the money strike.
Yeah.
For example, if you take the 11 June option chain, and if you this is the spot price, and if you derive the synthetic future of 10,200, I'm not taking 10,150 because they have liquidity issues. So the 100 strike I'm taking 10,200 plus the call price in this case is 105.3, and then you deduct the put option price, and then you will get the synthetic future price 10,151. This is the synthetic future price of weekly options of 11th June expiry. So this is in premium, around 10 points premium.
Yeah.
So how we can use this? As I said already that there is a lot of mispricing in weekly options because there is no futures contract for the weekly options. And this mispricing is very high when there is price extremes happen in the market. So what I mean by price extreme is when the market goes in very deep discount. The futures go in deep discount compared to the spot price, or when they go into a very high premium compared to the spot price. So when that price extremes happens, the mispricing in weekly options is much higher than what you see in the monthly options. So I'll give you two examples in this case. This has happened very recently in the May, I think. So on 29th May around 10 a.m., this was the spot price, and the front month future, which in this case will be the June expiry, it was 9,389. So around 50 and 60 points, around 60 points discount compared to spot price. So many people are saying it is because dividend is coming, that's why it's in discount. Or some people are saying there is a lot of shorting in the futures. So we don't know why this happens, but it happens. So that's not the point of this. So there was a huge discount of 60 points in the monthly futures. And if we derive the synthetic futures for the 4th June expiry in this case,
That was even lower.
Yeah, that was even lower. It was even 12 points lower, 12.6 points lower.
Yeah.
So almost 70 points discount to the spot price. So weekly synthetic future is in discount to monthly future. So here what we do is that we buy a long synthetic future, weekly synthetic future, because it's in more discount than the monthly future. And then we short the monthly future. Okay. So that is the spread, the future spread, the monthly and weekly future spread. So we take advantage using that long weekly and short monthly. So here the weekly has to converge to spot price very quickly than the monthly future. So what has happened is that on 3rd June around 10 a.m. the spot price went to 10,086 and front month future went to 10,059 and weekly synthetic went to 10,078. So this has changed much higher. So this has recovered much faster than the monthly future.
Maybe because expiry was approaching?
Yes, also the expiry was approaching, and also as I said, the price extremes, when the price extremes is very high, then the recovery or the weekly options also recover very fast.
Correct.
So that if you look at the change between these two dates, the spot price is 636 points, the front month was 670, and this was this much, 701. So if you look at the difference, right, there was 30.6 points gain for this particular spread from this point to this point. So this is how you can gain using long weekly synthetic future, short monthly future when there is a deep discount. So another example was happened in April month, and there it was with April monthly future and the 9th April weekly future, weekly synthetic future. So as you can see here, again there was around 15 points discount, and the weekly synthetic future was at much deeper discount, almost 44 plus to 46 points discount. So we long synthetic future we buy, okay, and then we short monthly future, and then on 9th April, so 6 days, the change you can see here, and the difference is 66.8 points gain from this spread, this particular spread. So there is a huge opportunity here because of this mispricing. When there is an extreme price action happens in the futures compared to the spot price. So there we take that advantage of this, and then we do this spread trades. So earlier margins were around 2 lakhs for this particular trades, like long synthetic future and short monthly future. But the current margins, as because of the new margin framework, it changed to 42 points. So for example, this particular trade, it would have given you around 1.5% or maybe 2%, 3% profit earlier. Now that would be around 10% now, right now.
Oh, in 5 days.
Yeah. So there's a huge change because of the change in margins requirement. So this is how you can gain from this information. So that's why the information about put call parity was important to derive the synthetic futures pricing, and how to use that synthetic futures pricing in weekly, monthly future spread when there is a mispricing. So this mispricing usually happens when there is a huge discount in the futures compared to spot price, or when there is a huge premium compared to spot price. So moving on to trade idea of this week. If you look at the Reliance in the last 2-3 weeks, you see that there has been a resistance around 1620, 1615 price, and this has also happened earlier in November and January also. So there is some kind of resistance is happening here, and also there was a piling up of calls compared to puts around 1600 strike, indicating that the call writers are confident that it's not going to breach 1600. So we'll take this information to place a trade. The trade here is a put debit spread. So here we are assuming that Reliance is going to face resistance and it is going to go down. But we never know what will happen with Reliance. So we take a risk define strategy in this case. So put debit spread. So we buy a 1580 put, which is at the money put in this case, and we short a 1540 put, a width of 40 points. Okay. So here are the max profit and max loss for this. So it has a probability of profit of 45%, and break evens is 1562 point. So and the margin required is around 28,000. So this trade is valid between 1570 and 1600. So if in the morning tomorrow on Monday, if it opens anywhere between this price range, then you can enter this trade. And stop loss is 1620 on futures price or 2500. So if anything is any one of them happens, then you exit the trade. And target is around 5,000. So risk reward of 1 to 2. So that is all.
Your slide shows maximum profit 11,236. That is based on what?
So this is if at expiry. So this.
Okay, if it expires between 1540 and 1580.
Yeah. So if it is around 1540, if it goes to 1540 and it expires at that point, then you will get full profit of 11,200.
Right.
Below that. And for the max loss, it's the same. If it expires above 1600, you will lose all of it, 8,900 at expiry.
Right. Okay.
So in between, if this happens, if you get 5,000 as your profit, you exit, or if you reach 2,500 loss, then you exit.
Yeah.
So that is all from me in this session. So I will hand over to AP unless he has some questions.
No, I think you have, whatever questions I had, I asked that time only. So nothing from my side now. So I'll take over from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I have again, like last time, I have only charts because that is what I understand more than the arithmetic part of the options. So let's start with the 10,100 straddle of this week, weekly expiry 11 June. You'll see on the top left 10,100 11 June call and put together, that is about 266 right now. So what it means, if you look at this chart, it is going down. In fact, there was a big anchor column on Friday morning from 320 to 283. So even if market opens up with a big gap up, you need to look at this straddle. And if this is not crossing 320, 330 after the gap up, then that means market might not go up further. So that is going to be extremely important on Monday. If Nifty gaps up, this straddle is going to give a hint of what market is going to do after that. So 320, 330 on the 10,100 straddle is what should be protected. If that is done, then market might slide down, gap fade or whatever people can trade that way. Now, another thing which I had here, let me see the chart. Okay, this is the 10,200 call of weekly expiry again. Now this is also approaching resistance. In fact, this is right now at 120, and here you'll see there's a high of 160. So there's only 40 points. Most probably this might cross this 160 if Nifty gaps up by 100, 150 points naturally, because if Nifty is more than 10,300, this call has to be at least 150, 160 minimum. But by any chance this does not cross 160, that also will be another hint that this is likely to market is not likely to go higher. So keep a watch on 10,200 call, 160, 165, and the 10,100 straddle, 320, 325. So these two together will give a hint of whether market is going to continue after gap up or whether it is going to slide after gap up. Now, another interesting thing, again, I have brought up Reliance on my chart. Reliance has risen up very fast from this panic low below 900. Now it is around 1600. On a point and figure chart, it is still strong, no doubt about it. Only thing is there is something which is happening, which is called a pattern retest on point and figure charts. What it means is it is, if you see here in the month of December, then again in the month of February, it went to this 1600, 1620 levels and gets sold off from there. So it has already happened thrice so far. And for the fourth time, this is happening. So if Reliance does not cross 1620 quickly, then this might come down. This is based on the chart of the underlying of the futures. Now, what is the options showing on the Reliance? If you see the put call ratio at 1600 strike price, the put call ratio is only 0.2, right? So this is extremely bearish for 1600 because Reliance is already near 1600, 1580, 1590, and put call ratio of 0.2 means there are 5 times the number of call writers than the number of put writers. So that is how much it is skewed in favor of bears. Same put call ratio on a multiple OI shows it shows the individual call OI and put OI. This is a huge difference between the 1600 call, which is at 15 lakhs, and 1600 put, which is at 30 lakhs. Sorry, call which is higher. So that it is 15 lakh 41,000 and 33 lakh 65,000. So again here this is 5 times. This is exactly what the put call ratio said, 0.2. So in case Reliance is not crossing 1600, another hint will be from this 1600 put. Now this is something very interesting formation. Here Reliance, when it gapped up on Friday, this put made a big bearish column, which is almost like an anchor column, which is the 1600 put. But after that, this has not given a follow through sell, which means the 1600 put writers became cautious. There was no selling in the put after that. After that, Reliance started sliding down, and this 1600 put has brought in the continuous, if you see these 5 columns, out of which there are 3 columns of X, the topmost X is at the same level, which is near 60, 64, 65. So any breakout above 65 on this put in this same column will be a triple top breakout, which is extreme on a 3% chart, which is an extremely strong pattern on point and figure charts. Of course, the stop loss, this pattern will get negated only if the put goes below the series low, which is 48. So if Reliance goes above this 1600 put goes above 66, 67, that itself can be a good trade. At the same time, the 1600 straddle of Reliance is also showing something interesting. If you see here, the straddle is at 108, out of which the call is 44 and put is 64. You can see here script 1, script 2, which means the put is dominating. Now, if Reliance has to go cross 1620, the call will shoot up very fast and the put will go down very fast. In which case, this will become interesting. Whatever happens to Reliance on Monday, if this straddle goes up, that should be because of the put, because as of now the put is dominating in the in this chart. In case this chart slides further, that means Reliance is not going to go down much, maybe 1560, 1550, in which case the trade suggested by Raghunath will do better than just a put buy. So this straddle will give a hint of whether Reliance is going to slide fast or whether this straddle just slides down and Reliance goes sideways. Now, this is something which I had said last. Yeah, you had a question?
Yes. I had a question. If you go to the straddle chart.
1 minute. I deleted it. I'll plot it once more.
So my question was that will you see also breakout because the Reliance call also gains if there is a big gap up in the market and Reliance reaches above 1620? Do you think then also the straddle will go up, like in this case?
See, right now this call is 44 and put is 64. So if Reliance breaks out above 1620, what will happen to the put? It will crash. So this 60 might become 40 or maybe even lower, maybe even 30. But at the same time, this call will go up from 44 to who knows, maybe 60 or 70. So again, there also this straddle, if it shoots up above this previous top of 115, see right now it is only 108. So another 10 points higher on this straddle, will mean that even Reliance is breaking out. So sometimes what happens is it breaks out above 1620, but it remains sideways for some time. So that also will be shown by this straddle. If Reliance breaks out either side 1620 plus or even starts going down, if this straddle keeps going down, that means Reliance is not going to give a big move, maybe plus 20 or minus 20, minus 30, 1550, 1560 to 1650. That will be the range. If this straddle starts going up, then whichever leg is taking it up, that is a strong breakout. Then one can go with the naked call or naked put. That is how the straddle will need to be interpreted on Monday.
Okay, so that is one of
So
the trade
breakout of a straddle will be a very strong move. See, what the straddle does is it tells us whether the underlying is sideways or in a momentum.
Yes.
Yeah, so if the straddle also goes into momentum, that means the underlying has a very strong momentum. So that you have to see which leg of the straddle is causing that momentum.
Okay. So accordingly, you have to take either put or call depending on which one is causing the breakout.
Yeah, because many times, in fact, of late, I have seen many times there are a lot of fake breakouts in stocks. So maybe 1620 might be crossed, maybe it will remain above 1620 for 5-10 minutes, but this straddle is not going up. That means there is a sign of a caution that this breakout might not sustain and Reliance will go sideways. I mean, it might break out after 2 days, that's a different story. But the straddle writers are strong, that is what it means. So that they will not allow Reliance to break out and carry the momentum further. So this strategy will give a hint of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Coming to a trade which I had suggested last week on the first edition over here, we were here on this Sunday. That time I had said that if Reliance has to go up this call 1440, because that time it was the at the money call, it gave a triple top by above 77, and it has closed. It gave a high of 175. So this was a 100-point increase in the call itself. Now, from this chart, I can see another interesting thing. If you see every single day from last Sunday, this call and as well as Reliance futures, it used to give a follow through by continuously. So it made higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows every single day. On Friday, what has happened? It gapped up. The call gapped up because Reliance also had gapped up after the news. This call, for the first time in the last 5 days, has not given a follow through buy. In fact, it has come, it opened and went high to 175, but it closed near 151. So this was the first day after 6 days when this call has not given a higher high and higher low. This was another sign of caution. So all points out to Reliance either sliding down or going down fast. But the price of this, I mean, 1600 call, 1600 put, and the put call ratio will give a hint of what is likely to happen. So even if you take the 1600 call, this also might give an indication. So all this put, I would more be looking at Reliance call put than going chasing Nifty on Monday if there is a gap up. Reliance will tell me what Nifty is likely to do. That is what I'll be looking at on Monday onwards.
Okay. So it depends on how it will open on the Monday.
Yeah. So all eyes will be on Reliance in the first 15 minutes from Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is all from my side. In case you have something, you can contribute. Otherwise, we end this episode.
So I just want to clarify that we have come across the same trade basically in the Reliance independently. So I just want to clarify one thing on that. And,
yeah, so maybe a lot of people are looking at Reliance, so maybe it goes sideways. So maybe it is better to sort the straddle with a stop loss of 115.
Yes. Yes. And one more thing I want to just want to say that in my session in the last week, I talked about iron condor, but because the market has gapped up on Monday, so that trade was not happened. So that was there was no follow up on that particular trade.
Yeah.
So I think that's all from us, unless
Yes.
AB has something.
No, that's fine. I'm also done.
Okay. Thank you for attending this session. See you next week. Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.